Welcome to Tuesday, December 24th, and a very good Christmas Eve, everyone. You're listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Well, as we head through this Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day, we'll first talk about the chance for a little bit of a white Christmas for some of you. A storm system, which has been bringing rain to California since this weekend, is breaking into two pieces. One of these pieces is going to come in and go across Idaho, Utah, into western Colorado and western Wyoming today. In fact, overnight and early this morning, snow is falling around Jackson Hole, around Star Valley, up around Pinedale, Wyoming, into portions of Idaho and Salt Lake City, and into the Wasatch Front. Some snow showers are being reported and developing on radar there. This first wave of moisture is going to move in to those western mountain areas today. Overnight tonight, the bigger part of that storm system coming off of California will move in, and we're going to start to see some light snow developing overnight tonight on Colorado's western slope and in Colorado's mountains. We're also going to see snow in Wyoming's western mountains, and overnight tonight and early tomorrow along Interstate 80, Evanston to Green River and Rock Springs to Rawlins, there's going to be some light snow falling. South central and southwestern Wyoming will see snow developing late tonight and Christmas morning. Then during the day on Christmas, we're going to see a little finger of snow go up through the Shirley Basin, up through Casper, and then into Lander and Riverton. And then we'll see a little bit of light snow shower activity Christmas Day and Christmas night across northeastern Wyoming along Interstate 90. And snow will continue to fall in Colorado's high country. This is a system where it's going to be hard to get a lot of snow on the other side of the divide. The Continental Divide in west will have the best chance of snow with there'll be a few snow showers east of the Continental Divide across Wyoming, South Dakota, and western Nebraska tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. But those areas I mentioned, south central and southwest, central and northern Wyoming and Colorado's mountains, going to see some minor snow accumulation. So if you've got to travel late tonight and Christmas Day in those areas, while it does not look like a major snow event at all, there really won't be much wind with it, do expect roads to be wet to a little bit slick. Now, the second phase of this storm system still is extremely murky. We've been talking about the chaos in the computer models about what's going to develop this weekend. Now, there's a little more clarity, but I'm still quite suspicious of what exactly is going to happen this weekend. We continue to get conflicting signals from our models. Some of our computer models that came in overnight and late yesterday started to give us more clarity. Then we got a new set of model data early this morning, which adds to confusion. Basically, what we have, folks, is another California storm that's going to move out of Southern California into Arizona Thursday night into Friday morning. Then it's going to take a turn and head towards northern New Mexico and southern Colorado by early Saturday. Now, this is where the forecast charts diverge. Some forecast charts take that low and quickly accelerate it northeast through Kansas and in towards the Great Lakes by Saturday and Sunday, basically leaving the western high plains and Rockies, I don't want to say high and dry, but not with a lot of snow Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, but some snow showers. Some of the other models take the storm and then just keep it in New Mexico, keep it into West Texas, and then push it east. Another set of models takes that low pressure that's coming out of Arizona and into New Mexico Friday night and Saturday, but then merging it with a small little storm diving south out of Canada. Now, this third scenario of a merger is something that other models have been looking at for the last several days as a possibility that if that happens, it will become a more consolidated, organized storm that could then impact Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska, and maybe parts of Wyoming, but especially Colorado and Kansas, with a chance of a more significant snowfall event this weekend. At this point in time, we're quite confident over the next 48 hours, which is a little bit of snow across some areas of Colorado and Wyoming late tonight through Christmas Day, and then some colder temperatures and lingering snow showers in the area Thursday and Friday. For the upcoming weekend, we still have to figure things out. Push comes to shove, it looks like we've got to keep our eye on eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and parts of central and eastern Nebraska for what could be some significant winter weather conditions that could impact travel if you're going through those areas from Friday night through Sunday. But there's still enough instability in the computer analysis and still enough things on the table that the forecast could also really change this weekend if that little storm in Canada drops south and merges with the main storm over New Mexico, which is a possibility. For the longer range outlook into New Year's week, well, it all is based on what happens this weekend, because we have a whole different set of scenarios for New Year's week, which depends on what happens this weekend. So the weekend is going to really tell a large tale on what's going to happen as we go into the new year. Now, speaking of the new year, we're still looking at a lot of cold building up north. You may or may not be hearing it on the news, but there is going to be severe, severe cold in Alaska. And as a rule of thumb in the western United States, when Alaska is severely cold, we tend to be more mild, which is exactly what we've had this week. But the cold air that's building in Alaska and northwest Canada, which could be near record territory, eventually that's going to cut loose. And when it does cut loose and come into North America, well, our whole winter weather pattern, which has been pretty mild for the last week, is going to change dramatically. We just don't know when yet. But you'll want to maybe take a gander and look at temperatures in places like Fairbanks, where minus 50 degrees or colder is certainly on the table here in the coming days. But all of Alaska, all of the northern slope will see some severe, severe cold. So the day of reckoning for us could come later on into early January if that cold air cuts loose, and it's something that we'll keep an eye on for you. We will update you early Christmas morning to hopefully have a better handle on what's coming for the weekend after Christmas. In the short term, do be ready for some of you to have a white Christmas in a few locations. Also, a solar update. We went 40 straight days without sunspots. Well, late yesterday and last night, a sunspot did show up to break the record at 40 days of sunspotless days. It's a tiny little sunspot, probably is going to fade away in a day or two. Thanks for listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Have a great Christmas Eve. We'll talk to you early Christmas morning.